hit the transition. It's clowning time. Welcome back to Clowning Around the Ring. We got the big goof with the big gold, Kool Sheen. I am the lazy-eyed Pinoy, Adrian Diesel. And of course in the middle, paperweight champion, Card Strong, Card Blade. And today we got to talk about this AEW Continental Classic because it's just been putting on constant bangers, if you ask me. And if you don't know, there are some rules to this tournament. There's 20-minute time limit. 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw. Everyone is banned from ringside. In the Gold League, we've got Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal, Roosh, Jay White, Swerve Strickland, and John Moxley. In the Blue League, we've got Eddie Kingston, Daniel Garcia, Claudio Casanoli, Bryan Danielson, Andrade El Idolo, and Brody King. John Moxley, Swerve, and Brody King all have 6 points already.
Brody King, dude.
In the lead.
Brody King been putting on, okay?
God, he's so
Matches went crazy.
The first upset of the whole
Matches
tournament.
went crazy.
The first upset of the tournament, he beat Eddie Kingston.
I mean, and Eddie being down 0-2 is crazy.
Eddie Kingston is 0-2. He didn't want to give up against Danielson on Collision. He was yelling no. He knew that he was about to go down, but he didn't want to.
I mean, I would say that, it's unbelievable. Eddie has the comeback ability that is unlike any other. I've never seen anything like it. He gets it's like the more damage inflicted, the more OP the comeback's gonna be. But it wasn't enough. And so now, next one's got to be a win. Eddie Kingston got to be a win.
I need Eddie Kingston to go on a winning streak because in the finals, I need it to be Eddie Kingston and Jay White.
You're asking for a lot.
Eddie Kingston is the whole reason that Jay White can't even be wrestling in New Japan right now. So if Jay White, unfortunately, were to beat Eddie Kingston, he would have some New Japan gold. He'd be able to go over there and wrestle again.
Standing on business.
I know. There's a feud baked into this. There's actually probably a few that I just can't think of. Into this. Some are being built right now, which I am into. We got a couple rematches actually coming up. I'm excited for.
Hold on. If we're going to be talking about finals and stuff like that, you're going to be jumping into that. No way we're talking about a finals that does not have Swerve Strickland, the hottest wrestler in AEW at the time.
I know.
That's crazy that we're going to be anointing a new champion and it's not going to be the person who's white hot, not even red hot, white hot at this moment. Everyone is swerving when they drive, dog. What are you talking about?
I want Swerve to hold next is the big one.
Whoa.
And that's unfortunate because he's not going to win this tournament in my head.
Talking crazy. But I feel you, I guess. Okay. I mean, you're talking crazy. I mean, who's on the level? Enough said. But I feel you. I just know that he deserves some gold. And so
true.
But no, if he goes out honorably, I wouldn't be mad if he tries going at that Intercontinental Championship just as a run.
The International?
Oh, yes. International. Excuse me.
Him and OC remember that Battle Royal a little bit ago? Oh, man, yeah, they would actually have a good little feud.
So I think if he is gonna bow out to someone and he takes, if they go that angle with it, I would love that. So I wouldn't be mad at that. But Swerve needs to be in a title picture. We just named 3. You got options, so it's all good. But
and I'd be okay with any of them because you're right. He deserves to be around a title.
100%.
But the next one I want him to have is the big one. Is there something wrong with that?
No, you're talking a little wild, but I feel you.
Imagine though, Eddie Kingston didn't have to put his titles on the line. He said, "My faves have been Triple Crown. I want to be a Triple Crown." Hey, do you know where this culminates? Pretty much his backyard.
That's facts.
I mean, come on. That's where he got the Ring of Honor one. He can have some some magic happen twice.
But all I know is they've been planting seeds, AJ.
For what?
They've been planting seeds. Okay, there's already. I mean, they would never do this, but it would be so much fun if they just did it for a little bit. They already have a belt on Julia Hart. Stick with me. They've been having Malachi Black in some tag matches
With Buddy
here
Murphy.
and there.
Put respect on his name.
He's been
Is
mixing
it
it up.
Buddy Matthews, actually? Oops. He's not Buddy Murphy anymore. I don't know who that guy is. That guy's dead and gone. T.I. Justin Timberlake.
Yeah. I was gonna let you have it because I didn't just straight up say that he was taken with him out front. So I was gonna let you just slip up, but also let you have the respect.
I just pulled a Malachi Black and said the wrong name. That's all.
But all I'm saying, that's hilarious. But I just feel that they've been planting the seeds at all of them being gold and the House of Black always winning, bro. That's what they've been. That's what they've been.
Wins. Yes.
That's what they've been doing. And they have Brody King in arguably the softer of the two divisions. I mean, I wouldn't want to have to be dealing with John Moxley and Jay White. I'd rather, as Brody King, I think I'd rather deal with Claudio and Eddie personally. But there's also Brian. Oh, this is hard. But the other one has Swerve. So it's like, oh, which way you want to go? Which way you want to go? But I think he's in the easier one for him. I'll say that. Maybe it's easier for him because if I'm him, I don't want to mess with Mox until I have to.
And I'm straight up lying because the next thing I'm about to say is a straight up lie because there's actually like three people. There's three people that would want to wrestle on Ring of Honor, but just I'm lying. But Eddie Kingston's the only person that would want to wrestle on AEW, Ring of Honor, and overseas in New Japan. These others are they just want the money back. You know, they just want to be on TV. They don't want to be on Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? They're too big of a name for that per se. You know what I mean? Even though Claudio shows up sometimes, Garcia shows up sometimes.
You're playing 4D
Briscoe,
chess.
you know, whatever.
You're playing literal 4D chess while I'm playing checkers, bro. You're so right.
So what I'm saying, not everyone would, and I don't. Hey, also, I am kind of stupid. I don't. Do you have to defend all three all the time at once? Do you know what I mean? Can you just challenge for the Ring of Honor if you wanted to? I don't. I'm stupid. I don't know how it works. Let me know. Because I would imagine that you don't always have to defend.
Yeah. And I'm assuming they're gonna be having this Continental Championship on Dynamite and Collision quite often.
Right.
That is the same way they have the International Championship quite often on there. And so I feel they're gonna have the ability to.
So like that's just like I'm sorry. It's just the equivalent to the U.S.
Yes. The continent technically includes Canada and Mexico.
Okay.
So it's more encompassing.
Okay. Well, that's actually kind of cool.
Especially because Mexico is in this sport. You know what I mean? Mexico actually has more, would be more value, have more value.
Okay.
So, yes, because if you're considered the Continental Championship, you would include then Mexico. If you're just a U.S. Championship, you wouldn't be including Mexico. It means less. It means slightly less in wrestling, I would say. Because, I mean, Mexico has some pretty goddamn good wrestlers.
The AEW showcases a lot. We see a lot.
And so,
that's what I was going to say.
100%. Speaking of that, Vikingo putting on as a Mexican champion recently on these matches.
Come on, son.
Holy.
Rouge
Okay.
as being the Mexican in the league.
Yes.
The tournament.
I mean,
The only one in his league. The only one in the tournament other than Andrade.
in those two.
Why you only got one in each league?
Yo, those two have the matches that I want to see the most, low key. Roosh versus Swerve, Roosh versus John Moxley, Andre El Idolo versus Brody King, Andre El Idolo versus Bryan Danielson, Andre El Idolo versus Claudio Castagnoli. Like, these are the bangers. These are the bangers. So it's like, I don't know.
Do you know who also needs W's, though? Daniel Garcia.
Danny.
But he has been learning. He's been learning about this Dragon Tamer.
He was brutal in this most recent match.
But he's got to lock it in a little bit differently. He thought he had it locked in, but Andrade got him with that DDT, the hammerlock DDT, which is so sad. But he almost had him. I have so much faith in Garcia. I need Garcia and Eddie to start getting some dubs respectfully. But unfortunately, like I said, I am so greedy for this Jay White Eddie Kingston rematch. But
No, I feel
whatever
you.
happens.
I feel you.
Because anything could happen. Are you kidding me? We're in the early days.
I feel we both are putting not because of deserved scale, but just because of we think of their aspirations not as such to be maybe title holders at this moment, like in their career based. We look at Claudio and Brian as like lower level picks.
Yeah, they don't need it.
Because they don't need it. They're stars anyways. They're going to fill up the seats no matter what. And so we look at Brody, we look at Daniel Garcia, we look at Eddie Kingston. We're like, one of them got to be the one to come out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look at the gold side, and I mean, Jon Moxley's Jon Moxley. What are we even talking about right now? He is probably one of the biggest stars they have in the company. So him being in the title conversation is always savage. And then Swerve, like we were talking about, white hot. Then we have Jay Lethal, who is like having a
Resurgence?
like a resurgence or like a reintroduction after this little break. And I think this is a good way to show that he's on the level with some of these guys and back into like championship form. And then you got Briscoe, Wild Dog.
Also need some dubs.
Facts. I think Briscoe should get a cheesy one over like someone like a Jay White or a Jon Moxley, like over one of the top dogs.
Yeah.
I think he should get a cheesy one off because that would be sick.
Actually, I think we are entering perhaps a little bit of a, sorry, buddy, of a chaotic losing Jay Lethal, I think, because he lost against Swerve.
True.
And he is fighting, I think he fights Briscoe next. Right? I don't know, guys. No, Swerve fights Briscoe next.
Yeah, Jay Lethal is fighting someone else. You did let me know, and I have slipped it up. Thought it was Jay Lethal versus Jon Moxley coming up that soon.
No, Moxley is going against Roosh next.
Oh, yes. Okay.
It's the Battle of the Jays coming up.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
So Jay White, I think, actually might win this one. But I wouldn't be mad if Briscoe gets a dub over, like, the upcomer. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
In the sense of the two.
I mean, honestly, Briscoe, to me, I think he should get a win over anyone but Jay Lethal because I feel like that both of them fighting each other, I feel like that's where Jay Lethal should get his win, and then Mark Briscoe should get his win off of someone else, in my opinion. I don't know. And maybe even Mark Briscoe gets 2 wins off. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Mark Briscoe, like you said, the losing Jay Lethal like conundrum, he loses all the way.
I meant Jay White. Did I say Jay Lethal?
You said Jay Lethal, so that's where I was, because they both have goose egg.
Briscoe and Lethal?
Lethal and White. Or no, White has 1.
White has a dub.
Yes, White has 1 win. It's Briscoe and Lethal have 0. You're right. So you think that Jay White's going to tank, huh? But you said that you want him in the finals.
Well, he's got to tank a little bit and then come back. I think after losing to Swerve, he might like lose 1 or 2. Because I think people
they only have 3 more each.
Okay.
So if they've done 2, they only have 3 more. So if he would lose 2 and win 1, it's gonna be tight for him to get in.
Yeah, that would be very tight.
So I think he's got to win 3 if he wants to get into the next stage.
So then he's got to go crazy hard because he lost 1.
And so I think I'm reversing it on you. I think it's maybe Jay Lethal, who I said was having a resurgence. Maybe he's gonna have all these banger matches because he's been putting on, but maybe he keeps losing all these matches. And maybe that's where Mark Briscoe gets a good, solid win off. Maybe Mark Briscoe gets 2 wins off. He gets 1 off of John or someone else and Jay Lethal. Oh, yeah, you're right. I always be mixing them up. I meant Jay White. Because a lot of J's over there.
So you agree with me. He needs to lose at least 1.
Yeah, I'm feeling you on that.
He needs to lose 1 more.
No, I'm feeling you on that. He beats Swerve, but loses to Mark. Jay White we're talking about.
He lost to Swerve.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so he has Roosh left. Other than that, Roosh and Jon Moxley. Okay, so yeah, maybe a loss to Roosh. I think Roosh getting some dubs is fire.
Yeah.
Have they talked about the second stage of this tournament?
Tio, you're right. Roosh should be the only other one to beat him because he's so violent.
He's so sick. Have they talked about the second leg of this tournament? Like what? Like is the top 2 scorers from each bracket move on and face each other? Is it like a quarterfinals where there's 4 wrestlers that come out of it, or is it just a finals of the top 2-point earners come out of it? Because what if there's ties?
They might be tiebreakers, but I don't know actually.
Because a quarterfinals would be, I think
All I
quarterfinals
know
would be
is where it
really fun.
culminates. All I know is that it culminates.
Because a quarterfinals where the person with the most points in gold faces the person with the advanced person with the least points in blue, and then the person with the most points in blue faces the person with the least points who advanced in gold. I think that would be the best way to do it. And then you still get a little mixy mosh. I think that would be fun. I don't know how they're doing the second leg. If they're just doing finals, that'd be cool too. But it'd be interesting to see how they're doing the tiebreakers, if there is any because head-to-heads are then going to matter a lot and things like. I don't know how they're scoring it in that sense for the second leg. I'm excited to see where it goes. There's just so much talent.
I just know.
That's why I want it to be quarterfinals.
Pretty sure, right? It ends on the 30th.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I would assume it's
It
just
culminates
the highest
there.
points.
Yes, that's the finals. I think.
I would assume
Yeah,
it's
you're
just
right.
the highest points from each league.
And there is so many matches to go, so it'd be crazy to have a full like series.
It would be
things before
kind
that.
of crazy if it's a 4-way though, or something crazy.
Whoa, that would be. Oh, whoa! Now you're talking extra crazy. The top 2-point earners from each get into a fatal 4-way match. Okay, yeah, see, this would be fun. This would be fun. I like what we're talking there. That's crazy.
But I need Eddie to be in that still.
Yeah.
I would need Eddie and Jay to be a part of that. But that would mean John or Swerve aren't a part of that.
Yeah. yeah. Or Roosh.
Or Rouge. Well, no offense. I don't think he's making it that far. I feel like they're going to start doing, like after this, maybe not though, but I thought they were going to start doing more stuff with the LFI.
Okay.
As a trios. Which I'm not mad at.
So, Roosh just needs to be on TV more, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And
Like-
I'm happy that he has been.
He has been recently, yes. And they just, when they showcase him, he's intense. When he's getting his promos are so funny, man.
I love
Like
it.
they're intense and they do what they're supposed to do. And if I was a kid, I would believe him 100%. He's like a gangster, low key.
Yeah.
He looks like he moves like a gangster, low key.
They're probably a part of the cartel.
And I straight up would believe him. I believe you. I would believe him, bro.
All of them.
And so, and he's got like that little assistant who, like, all of it's.
Whoa, easy, Jose, the assistant.
It's all
It's
believable,
not just
bro.
Some little assistant.
I know, but
Disrespectful. Disrespectful.
If I was
Apologize.
a kid, if I was a kid, that's how I would.
Apologize.
No.
You see him without his jacket, without his blazer on?
Okay.
He's not no little man.
No, he's not. But that's how I would say if I was a kid.
Disrespectful.
That's how I would
Are
say
you a little
it.
kid right now?
No, but
Stop disrespecting
I'm putting
that
myself
man.
in those
Stop
shoes.
disrespecting that man.
Let me
Just
go
because his
back.
last name is the assistant doesn't mean you get to pick on him.
Let me go back.
I'll let you go back in time and apologize.
Okay, my bad. I didn't mean it like that. I was just saying that, like, in comparison to Roosh and like Andre El Idolo, he's kind of small.
Easy.
But what we will say is that he just has the little accountant. Saying it again.
He's not even an accountant, bro. He probably his accountant probably smaller. Probably the smallest one of the group, eh?
Sure, but the only reason why I'm saying it like that is because that's how I would look at it if I was a child. I'd be looking at it like,
Disrespectful, dude. You're
nah,
disrespecting the man.
he's laundering his money for him, dog.
Possibly.
And that's how
He's
it
an
goes.
assistant. You don't got to be an accountant to do that.
Straight up. You're right.
But then, okay, if it's
I'm
a fatal
disrespecting
four-way,
him.
If it's a fatal 4-way, give me your 4. Also, actually, who is your 1v1?
My 1v1, if I had to choose, so do you want my smart pick or my best, my favorite pick?
All of it, both.
So my favorite pick would be Swerve versus Brody at this stage right now, because I think that would be just like the perfect clash.
Whose house?
Yes.
And then versus the House of Black?
Yes. I think that would be a crazy clash, a perfect styles matching. The amount of counters that would be happening in that match would be insane. Brody always lays it all out on the line. Swerve will lay it all out on the line. So I think that would be in top level intensity. But my sleeper, like, if my brain works pick and like really gets to articulating things, I like Roosh versus Bryan Danielson.
Whoa. For the Triple Crown. That's insane. That would be insane.
Because I feel, and I feel Bryan Danielson in my brain for some reason. I like Bryan Danielson as a winner, because I have him as not someone who maybe is even looking at it like he needs it to go on this little tour he's doing, but he's talking about it like it's, the final ride. And I feel like to go out with like this would be the biggest bang, right? And it would make the championship, I feel, look very prestigious if someone like Bryan Danielson was the first holder for the new Continental Championship, that is. And I know he wouldn't be afraid to defend it.
He's already got plans to go wrestle in New Japan in January, I'm pretty sure.
And so I don't think he would have problems defending any of the belts. I think that it would be a short run, but he would be the first champion. He would wrestle hard for a short amount of time in all these different things, and then he would.
How do you lose all three? Do you put them all three on the line like a Big Shot?
Oh, he might do something crazy like that
against Eddie.
But maybe that'd be crazy.
I want Eddie to have all three.
Yeah, that'd be so sick. But so you feel the vision on that a little bit though, where like it raises the prestige level, and then it just might make more people challenge for those types of belts.
If Jericho was the first AEW World Champion,
and they do these types of things.
The champion.
They do these things for a reason. So that's how my and I like Roosh more than more than Jon Moxley, simply for the fact that I think if they're doing some sort of tiebreaker situation, I would want Roosh to beat Jon Moxley, like in that situation. I want it to come down to them.
Versus Blackpool Combat Club.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Because then it would be gang wars. You knew exactly where I was going, bro.
I love gang warfare.
That's what I was saying.
And if one place knows how to do gang warfare, it's AEW.
Swear. And so that's what I was looking at there. But if it was a fatal four-way, Brody King, Daniel Garcia. No, Brody King and Eddie Kingston.
Dude, there's too many of my favorites.
No, Brody King and Eddie Kingston. Not Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia would get etched out, unfortunately.
I think Daniel Garcia. I would like to see the Daniel Garcia versus Yuta again.
Okay.
For the pure champion.
Yep.
Because think about it. What has Daniel Garcia been trying to win with?
He's been grinding.
What has he been trying to win with? A submission move. What is he? A wrestler. What is that pure championship all about? Wrestling. Come on.
I feel that. No, I feel that.
They're turning him to be more of a pro wrestler, but he can keep the dance.
No, I feel that. We're making some good pivots for a lot of these guys, and I like that. I like the Swerve pivot to the international. I like the Garcia pivot to the pure, and and
Eddie retains, and I win.
I'm not mad.
I win in life.
I'm not mad at Eddie, Jay White, Brody King, and Roosh or Jon Moxley. Gosh, I don't know who to pick between those two. It's so hard.
Why did they have to put so many heaters in this tournament? You couldn't give me two bad wrestlers?
Because Jon Moxley was just talking about how his body hurts, give me Roosh. That's the fatal four-way. Roosh, Jay White, Brody King, Eddie Kingston. That's a weird mix, and not really a lot of feuds there. But you know what? They're the ones that made it. I didn't cook feuds into that one, but I just love those guys. I didn't cook it. I just love those guys.
Dude, if Eddie doesn't win, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about if Eddie Kingston doesn't get that big W, bro.
Well, because the other thing that I'm thinking about is that they're going to put two Blackpool Combat Clubs in a fatal four-way match.
You think they would?
I think they would. I think that they would put, you know who they would put? They wouldn't put Danielson in there.
You think Claudio and Mox?
Yep. And they're too aggressive. They're too alpha. They would end up fighting each other.
Everyone in that is except for that little shit.
But Danielson,
that little shit,
he
should not be pure champion. You saw
I'm
him
just
kick him
saying.
Did you watch him kick him in the balls?
He
Kicked him
did.
in the balls.
He did.
You don't just kick Katsuya Shibata in the balls like that, bro.
He did. No, I'm just saying. But Bryan Danielson's a little bit more zen.
That's true. He did meditate exactly
a little bit
after the
more
match.
zen.
He was zen.
So like I don't see it the same as I feel I see it with Claudio and John. I think that they would start ripping each other's heads off. So it could be fun if they're both in it, and because size at that point, I actually would like Eddie and Jay White in that combination. If you're gonna have the double BC Blackpool Combat Club.
Interesting.
Jay White's got to be in it. Jay White's too much of a Swiss Army knife. Not a switchblade, if you will. He's too much of a switchblade.
Because if anyone's a Swiss Army knife, it's Claudio. The Swissman.
That's Claude. But I'm just saying that he just is too skilled at too many things, so he needs to be in the match.
I'm going to get what I want one time for the one time, right? For the one time? Let me get what I want for the one time. Jay White, Eddie Kingston. Worlds Collide, I think is what that pay-per-view is called.
I mean, we'll see. You did say that, but we'll see. I think Jay White definitely has to be, if it was going to be a multi-man match. Now, when you get to the singular matches, I think that Jay White maybe could be in it. The whole Gold Squad is crazy, man.
All of
Briscoe? We haven't
All
even
of them.
talked about Briscoe.
He puts his body on the line on free TV, and I love him.
We're going to get Mark Briscoe versus Jay White.
I know.
Equally as crazy. I mean, no, Gold
we get
is
him versus Swerve on Saturday.
Yeah, no, Gold is so insane.
Uh,
Swerve versus Roosh.
Swerve versus Briscoe is gonna be so good.
Jay Lethal exists. What
Yeah.
I mean, what are we talking about? Crazy.
I think I wouldn't be surprised actually if Lethal's the only person who doesn't get a single victory.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either. He has that. It would make sense because he has that resurgence. He takes on, maybe a little bit too much. He's looking good, but he can't hang. And then he's gotta rebuild again.
Yeah, I think he's just too used to having his boys out there with him, full squad, kind of like someone else.
And his squad been kind of taking L's recently. His squad been kind of taking L's recently too. And so it's not just him. They're just on a full downswing. Maybe some rifts, maybe some tension might be brewing between Jeff Jarrett and the situation in the whole crew, because that would be the one to split, right?
Probably.
I would think Jay Lethal, Sanjay, and Satnam would all stay together, and then Jeff Jarrett would be the one who gets angry, and that's where the feud would come in, and that could be interesting too. Jay Lethal versus Jeff Jarrett.
Give me it.
I'm with it.
I would watch that.
Yeah, I'm
I would
with
watch
it.
that. That's classic TNA days.
That's and on ROH, is it not like where else would it be?
savage.
Yeah, where else would it go? Like that's
That'd be
perfect.
cool.
It's
I would
perfect.
watch.
So I mean, I think that's a good pivot for him. It would be a redemption. Get his team, his boys back into the winning light. Maybe after that, and then they can maybe they add a new flavor.
Maybe.
You never know, or they stay doing what they're doing. But you never. They.
Well, they would have to add, because Sanjay doesn't wrestle and Satnam has not wrestled.
Much,
so
yes.
if they're gonna be a team, they need a third for trios, or Satnam better start lacing up them boots more.
Yes.
Some tag.
Facts. So yeah, no. So I definitely would say they could get another flavor going. And Jeff Jarrett's built a character at AEW that could survive on its own. Him and his old lady, they'll be all right.
He's
So-
the last outlaw. He'll be fine.
And Andre El Idolo is the one who I look at on the blue side that's like this, where it's like, I mean, he doesn't deserve to probably lose a lot of the matches. But he's probably going to lose a lot of the matches.
Not a lot. I mean, he's off to a good start.
He's 1-1, right?
I thought he was 1-0.
I thought he was 1-1. But no, you're right. You're right.
He's 1-0.
Yeah, you're right.
Didn't we just say this?
No, we were talking about someone else.
Oh, okay.
Well, we might have said that he had a match with someone and won. But I didn't state if he lost the earlier match.
All I'm saying, dude, is
The Blue Squad's like a couple matches behind.
I think just one.
Just one match?
I think
Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. The Blue Squad.
Yeah, just one because there's only one. Wait, yeah, I think just one.
Okay. Yeah, the Blue Squad has a little bit, like, it's so much more of a toss-up.
No, it's not. The answer is clear.
Yeah, but Eddie, you gonna win the last 3 in a row?
Has to. He has to.
Who's his next opponent?
Uh,
Does it say?
it's Claudio.
Oh, if he's gonna win, it's gonna start with this next one.
I mean, he's beating him for the title. He could beat him. One. I mean, oh, dude, is this not the third time they fought though? Or what? Aren't they tied one apiece?
In
right now?
in one in Matt.
Like just like in general, like overall, aren't they 1-1 right now? Or does Claudio beat him too?
I think it's 2-1. If you're talking also like anarchy in the arena and stuff like that too.
Oh, touche. I was just thinking 1v1s though.
That's why I said one-on-ones or total, because total I think Claudio has the edge a little bit, but in one-on-ones I think you're right there.
I mean, they were on the same team for one of them.
That's true. That is true actually.
For blood and wasn't that blood and guts when he came out with the gas and then climbed all the way to the top, or was that an anarchy?
That
Don't
was
know.
anarchy. Yeah, we get him mixed up, but he was on his team once and he was on the opposite team once.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
that's all it is.
And he's Eddie, Brody King, Daniel Garcia, Claudio, Bryan Danielson, Andre El Idolo. What are we doing?
I'm telling you, there's too many hitters, bro.
So, yeah, I don't even know who to call the low end of the totem pole of that group. I guess
Oh,
it's
the
Daniel
group?
Garcia.
Unfortunately,
I guess.
only because of standings.
I guess. But
Overall,
it's like
obviously
wow.
Jay Lethal. No offense.
That's the gold group though. I was just
I
talking
know.
the blue group.
I know. I didn't know that at first. I wasn't completely listening to.
Of the gold group, Jay Lethal is the odd one out on that side too.
He's a bum.
And Roosh is like one step below, just because John, Swerve, and Jay are like the top of the top right now. Like they are the pinnacle of wrestling, and so it's like if you're not that, it's hard to be close to that. But I digress. We know who we want. And you know what to give us. I mean, we're gonna have so many of these matches. I think we have like 30 something matches left.
I don't believe him
in
too.
this
That
tournament.
sounds like too many. Sounds like too many matches. But I'm also bad at math.
I mean, they got a lot of matches left. There's 6 people in each thing, and they've just begun. So
I'm gonna start counting them.
please do. Please do. The only way I checked is just the boxes that don't have X's in them on the graphic.
I just think it's gonna be funnier if I count all the matches after this.
There's a lot, and we're gonna get a lot of good wrestling. I want to know what's the second leg. If anybody knows what that is, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, and if you made it this far, you might as well hit that like button. Before we go though, Jack Perry's the devil, right?
He must be.
Please
That-
give me the static. Give me that static before Symphony number 5. That's all I need. Huh? Huh?
I mean,
Huh?
it would be fun. He might not, he might not come back and like actually win, but it would be fun to see him come back.
Well, I mean, yeah. No one's on the level.
Okay, you feel me. You feel me. Good.
Oh, and there's some. Okay, we gotta go. Continue
Wrap it up.
clowning.
Wrap it up.